I have a special guest from all the way over there in Virginia in the US, and it's Desi, a big Tottenham fan. Desi, introduce yourself.
Hey, it's good to be here, Michael. Yes, very big. And Winx earrings. um, I am in Central Virginia on the East Coast. I have 2 children. I'm a full-time student as well, and they're both doing virtual because of COVID. So I'm just kind of staying home to police their work and my work. And they're probably better at doing their work than I am. And, right here in America, it's just, I try to delve into things that I enjoy, like books and football and stuff like that, because it's just very hectic over here right now.
Yeah, a lot going on. Why Tottenham, of all teams in the Premiership?
So,
Tottenham.
My best guy friend since we're 11. We met at camp, actually. And we were both soccer players. Football players, excuse me. I am American. I don't like the S word, but I'm like so ingrained in me. And we became really good friends. He's literally still my best friend, and we're both 33. And when we were about 14, he turned me on to Tottenham. And that was back in America. Like, you couldn't, unless you were like rich and had like pay-per-view, you didn't watch football like that. Like, we would listen to it on the internet radio.
Yeah.
And so that was, I'm 33, 14. It's like, what, 17 years ago?
Yeah. Wow.
So, and then like I kind of forgot about it for a while. Not that I had like forgot about them, but I have a son that's almost 14, and life got a little busy for a while. And then my daughter is 5. And I would say probably the last year that we were at White Hart was still standing.
Yeah.
I really got back in, like, full-fledged supporter. I'm a part of a supporters club here in Central Virginia. It's called Richmond Supporters Club. And they're about 2 hours away from me, but it's the closest one at the moment.
Okay, cool.
And I'm trying to think. I have over the past, like 4 years, I've spent many like weekends in Richmond, and we never really made it to the pub because my best friend has PTSD. He's a veteran. But watching it with him, and I started also in that time frame, started going to London and actually
pretty cool.
seeing us play. And that, like being there in the atmosphere, there's nothing like football. There's no sport, and I've been to most kind of like professional games here in America, and nothing to me tops being at a football match in England. So
the whole atmosphere and everything.
Yes, the chanting and just all that doesn't happen really in America. And even my best guy friend who loves Tottenham, not as much as I do. I say I love it more, but anyway, like even he could probably never attend a match there because like he just doesn't. Not a lot of people can put up with the chanting and the that kind of atmosphere. But to me, that's really exciting. So
yeah, definitely. And what was the first match you remembered watching or went to White Hart Lane to watch? What was the first game you've seen?
So I missed going to White Hart Lane, like just barely. Some things had to be rearranged, and we ended up, my first time being able to see them in London was at Wembley when we did our season at Wembley.
Yeah.
And I went to 2 matches in May. I went to see my first match was the day that we landed in London.
Yeah.
And we went straight to Wembley. And who were we playing? Now I'm like, hold on. I can like see it there. I can see Newcastle.
Oh, right.
We played Newcastle. And then a few days later on Mother's Day, actually, it was America's Mother's Day. So that was like my gift to be in London. And we played, again, I'm like struggling here. Maybe I'll think of it. Everton.
Oh, okay, cool.
We played Everton. And that was a really good match. Way better match and like we had way better seats and stuff because I actually bought the first match of the day that we landed there. I actually bought those like on and over, like in between flights.
Wow.
They became available and I grabbed them really quick. So that wasn't even a match we were expecting to go to. But yes.
Right. Who is your favorite player of all time? Spurs player.
That is hard. There's so many. But I think that most recently, in the more knowledge I have about football, Dembele. I miss Musa Dembele so much.
No, he was brilliant. I was really surprised
He was,
when they
he was
sold
a beast on the ball. And he was so nice. I met him once.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was super
cool.
kind. Like it was just in passing, so nothing like fancy, you know, just when you accidentally bump into a footballer, that kind of thing. Leaving that area, but that was it. But yeah, I miss him. I still follow like all his social medias and look at what he's doing in China and stuff like that.
Yeah, he was a really good player. I was really surprised when they sold him. I thought it would be your best midfielder at that time.
Honestly, I was really surprised too. This is so silly. His shirt, his match shirt was the first shirt that I ever purchased when I got back into it like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And I loved him. I cried, and I don't think I've cried since anybody's left. He was really great, but I think that because he was getting up in age, he was becoming so injury prone.
Yeah.
And he deserves, I think that there's some footballers that deserve to go like play the easy China, like the Super China League, make tons of money, and then just kind of have a cush life after that.
I hear you. And a nice way to end your career with some big money, and so you can retire happily.
That's right. Because not all footballers retire that gracefully.
No, that's true. What is one of your fondest recent memories or just memories of Spurs over the years?
Probably. So one here in America would be the Champions League final.
Oh, wow.
I went up to Richmond for that to watch it with my best friend because, like, duh, I had to. Like, that was just, and so I actually met up with a bunch of the people from the supporters group too, like for a drink before the match.
Yeah.
And then like we went back and watched the match at his place. And that's a really good memory. Just knowing that like we made it that far, and even though we didn't win, with him bringing me into the Tottenham fold, it was just a cool thing to be able to watch with him. As far as like actually being in London, I would say the coolest, like most fond memory that I have is my son and I went for a week by ourselves, April 2019 it actually was my birthday while we were there.
Wow.
His birthday is in February, but it was like a co-birthday trip. And we went and we saw, well, obviously we got to go in the new stadium for the first time twice that week. We got really lucky, have really, really good mates over there that helped me. One sold me one of his extra tickets for did we see Brighton? Did we play Brighton? Who was it? No, it was Crystal Palace.
Okay.
Right? Did we play Brighton or Crystal Palace? I don't know. Obviously my brain is misfunctioned. But we went to a match, like we got there on Easter and we went like on a Tuesday. So Tuesday. And then honestly, like just being in the new stadium, the music playing, and being able to have my son with me, because he has no choice. If he ever tries to like anything else, I told him he'd go live in a tent outside. I don't even let him wear red, by the way. I know the West. Well, we did go see the West Ham match, and
Okay.
that was the day after my birthday on the 27th. And it was Brighton that we saw the first match.
Cool.
I was so bummed when COVID happened.
Yeah.
Because like we were gonna really try to come out for the North London Derby.
Yeah, wow.
And it was right before my birthday.
Yeah.
And it was just, that was gonna be the best thing ever. And then COVID ruined everything. So I mean, I think that one of my goals as a supporter is to definitely make it to a North London Derby.
Wow. Yeah. Amazing. Atmosphere is just something else, man. The North London.
I can imagine. The West Ham atmosphere was, my son at the time was only 12. Yeah. And he was like, you know, like West Ham's rowdy. And I already knew that. Like I know about them and their caravans. Yeah. And like I know about West Ham. Plus we were staying on their side of London. So like
really? East London. All right.
Yeah, we were in East London at the Moxie. So yeah, so I already knew like what we were getting into because that's the hotel that I've stayed at before.
Yeah.
And
that's some big rivalry as well, funny enough.
It is. And like there was some major fighting in the streets going on that day. Yeah, and Weston, my son was like, Ma. And he's like, they've got police on horses here. I was like, it's fine. It's fine. That's just how West Ham acts. It's okay.
That's how they do it.
It is. They like to be rowdy.
Who's your favorite player now for Spurs?
Favorite player now? Such a diverse roster with like, so we finally were able to get some fresh new faces on the squad, which we've needed for so long. A favorite of my all-time favorite ever is going to be Son. Yeah, like with the squad that we have now. I love Son. He's brilliant and so down to earth. He's just looking at him makes me smile, even when he's not smiling. He's just that type of person, I feel like. Yeah. And Harry Winks, like I've always loved Winks. I just really like the fact that, like, I love seeing people come through a program.
Definitely, I hear you.
Like through the academies. I love seeing that. I know that he's having a rough time right now, but there was a time where I thought that he was going to be a big star for Spurs under Pochettino, and it just didn't happen that way.
Yeah,
I love Lo Celso too. I think that
he's good. Mm-hmm. Good player. I don't think Mourinho quite views Winks the same way as Pochettino does.
I don't think so either. And also I will say, I do like Hoberg as well. I think that he's great.
He's been brilliant for you guys.
Oh yeah. I've like been waiting to get a new shirt. Like the last season I got one for was like 2 seasons back. Yeah. Because I ended up buying like 4 at one time, and I was like, I don't need to keep buying shirts. But I think I'm gonna probably get his name on the next shirt that I get.
Really good. Can you tell me a little bit about how Tottenham are received out there in the US or in Virginia in particular?
So I don't often in the town that I live in, like ever really run into anybody that is also Spurs.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It does happen on occasion. Because I have like I drive a station wagon, like a Saab 92X, and my whole left side back window is dedicated to England and Spurs stickers. So occasionally I'll have people like see me at the grocery or something and be like, hey, I like Spurs too. And the thing is about football in America is people don't realize I don't care for the MLS at all.
Oh, really?
I do not care for the MLS.
Wow.
I just don't like how they play. I don't think I am really into like European ball and like just how physical it is and how like mental it is. And it's just more than being like the favorite on the field or whatever. It's just the atmosphere is way different here in America. So the teams you hear about the most here, and I really don't want to say this, but I'll be honest. Chelsea.
Really?
Arsenal and Man U are probably the 3 that you hear the most. And like, not to take anything, I don't like Arsenal, but I like loathe Chelsea.
Yeah, that's another rivalry, isn't it? That's a
Well, and
massive
there's
rivalry.
and like I just know a decent amount of Chelsea fans, and they just seem like they're just not overall, and just what you hear and see in the news and read, like they're not overall great people. I know that every club has their
of course,
like group that maybe looked at some kind of way, but they just seem to be consistently not great. So, but those are, I mean, it's not all, like my son, he is a football player. He was playing travel ball, which is pretty high up here in the States. Okay. And very, very busy until COVID happened. So now he's training at home. We've got goals and resistance bands and, all the stuff that he needs. Yeah. In fact, our friend Idris that passed away.
Yeah.
Thank you. That one of the reasons for going at the time we went was so he could train with Idris. So Idris has TSM, which is they don't just focus on football, they focus on like track and field too, and some other stuff. But just kind of more of like the agility of it all. And just like really making sure that you're open to quick change on the ball and stuff like that. Yeah. And we spent the whole day of my birthday at Crystal Palace, like training center. So Weston could train with him. And he even went as far as like doing videos for him during COVID and like talking with me over Instagram, like voice message and stuff. So, we were really looking forward to getting back out there, and COVID, like I said, really kind of botched things. And then I didn't even know he passed because they didn't post about it till yesterday, but he passed last week from a heart attack. So
horrible. Yeah.
But his wife did reach out to me, and I've been with her on the phone, and they're going to continue like his business and stuff. So
yeah, that's what he'd want, wouldn't he?
And he was an Arsenal fan.
Wow.
And I don't know if you looked at my like little post, but he did a video about Weston like at the end of their training, and he was like, "You have something on your shirt there." He was making fun of Weston. So yeah, but it's all in good fun.
Yeah, we're not all bad. We're not all bad. In your eyes, we may have picked the wrong team in North London, but we're not all bad people. Right, so tell me a bit about your thoughts on Daniel Levy, and since 2001, been at Spurs doing these things.
I have like, I have so many different thoughts on him. There's sometimes where, honestly, I think that he can be a good businessman, and he is Spurs, so that helps. Like, he grew up Spurs. I just think, I think he really blew it with Pochettino. Like, I feel like there had to have been something between them that just, I don't know, because he wanted new faces and new people, and he really wanted that. And Pochettino had such great attacking football. And I know it wasn't great towards the end, but I think it was a locker room situation, not just Pochettino. So, as far as Levy, I could take him or leave it. I'm not going to be one of those people that are like Enoch out and Levy out and all that crazy stuff, just because we wouldn't have the stadium we have or anything that we have now, I think, if he wasn't in charge, because I do think that he knows how to handle money.
He's done amazing things for your club.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, my only thing is just not having transfers and not being able to get those.
Yeah, but that's the tricky thing, isn't it? It's trying to balance it, because you overspent on your stadium. Remember, it ran over time and the cost. That's.
I mean, and you don't know, like, unless you're sitting at that table, whether there was really a situation between him and Pochettino, or whether it was really just a situation where he was like, look, I can't do it this year. And Pochettino was just kind of like, well, then I'm ready to be done here or whatever. So, but he had a good win with PSG tonight.
Oh, did he? I've not even heard the results. I'll check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope he does well for his sake. I like him.
I like him a lot. I still think a lot of him for sure. I'm just glad he didn't, like, everybody thought that he would go to a team in the EPL once the time frame was up, because they gave him a certain amount of time. Like, you can't be in the EPL, for this amount of time. And so everybody thought, man, he's really not taking any jobs anywhere. He really must want to come back to the EPL. I'm glad he didn't, because that would be really hard to see, I think.
Well, just put it this way. I think if Solskjaer at Man United got sacked, he would have definitely been a Man United manager.
Oh, I do think that. How weird would that be?
It would be weird. I think I think he's what they need, but then Solskjaer is now doing okay. It's funny, isn't it?
It is.
It's really strange. Football's like that, though. 1 minute you think, oh yeah, I'm going here, then things turn around, and so you never know.
When my son, like, I try to teach him that, like, when he gets frustrated after his matches or any kind of frustration about football, I'm like, that's literally just football. Like, you just have to deal with it.
You do, because 1 minute things are going well, things go bad, or you have a bad run of form, and then something happens and that turns completely on its head. So you never know. You just got to keep on putting in the work, and eventually you see the fruits of your labor.
That's right.
So Mourinho, what's your thoughts on Mourinho at Spurs?
I'll be honest. I made a lot of fun of Mourinho when he was, like, at the end of his Man U situation. Like, I have memes that pop up on my Facebook memories of, like, him in a padded room, like, in a corner and stuff, because everybody thought he had, like, completely lost the plot at the end. And so I always laugh when I see those, because I never really laughed or made fun of any other managers, just him. So, at first I think we were all, like, super apprehensive about how the locker room would do with him. Exactly. And because, like, he has almost at every team, he has an issue with somebody. Pogba being the last one, I think. So, I think a lot of us wanted to hate him because we all love Mauricio so much. And he had shown genuine emotion over our team. And that's not something you always see from a manager. But I think he's growing on us.
Yeah.
Like, I think that his style of football, I don't love, like, a win is a win or a point is a point. And I get that to an extent, but we have no attacking football right now. And it's not all his fault. I mean, it's definitely the players as well. Like, I'm tired of sticking up for them sometimes, because, you can't just make a goal and, like, feel like, or 2 goals and just park the bus. No more attacking, no more defending. And unfortunately, although we aren't doing horrible, I mean, we're 6 points, but from the top, but it's not always what you want to see. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Like, I'm looking forward to what we can do with him.
I think the key with him, I'm not impressed either, because obviously the Tottenham, they always say about a team's DNA and the way they play. When you think about Tottenham, it's always expressive, free-flowing football, you think.
Yes.
So it's horrible to watch at times at the moment. And the good football's in very little spells. You may have, like, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and that's it for the whole game, where you're actually playing good football. And the rest of it, sitting deep, being defensive, soaking up pressure, and then trying to hit the team on a counter-attack. So go on.
No, it's just, I think that you said this to me in a message just before this, but it's so true. Like, we try to overpower the team so hard in the first half. And usually it's the second half that, when Poch had us, that we'd come out better.
That's
but
right.
it's the second half now that we just, it's almost like they've just decided they weren't going to win, or they didn't want it, or I don't know. It's kind of like, okay, they're just ready to give it up a lot of times in the second half. Like I actually posted and I love my team, but the thing is I love the badge, the people on the back, I think I posted on Instagram, you probably saw it, the one with Mourinho's face where he's like, because we beat Marine 5-0 and we attacked the whole time. We played really good.
That's the thing. That was one of your best performances.
And we had a third string squad.
Yeah, but that was impressive football.
It was great. It was lovely.
Even Desi Tottenham played well.
I had the caption, I think, was we waited to play a Sunday league team to actually do something besides park the bus.
Kept on going. It was none of this sit back and what. You actually just went and expressed yourself. And the players you have, that's why it doesn't make sense of this whole sitting deep. And I know what he's doing. He's trying to say, look, let's focus on not losing. I know,
and he says that a lot in conferences, well, football's not always pretty. It's about winning. But that's not Tottenham football, so it's just very strange.
But it's going to be one of those seasons for you. I think you just kind of see where you end up and then touch it from there. Because at least with him, which I didn't like with Pochettino didn't always go full-heartedly for every competition. Well, Mourinho's going to try and win everything.
Right,
so it increases your opportunities of actually having a trophy. The more you go for it, the more likely.
That did bother me about Mauricio, because he didn't really care about the cup.
Yeah.
He didn't care about the FA Cup. He didn't really care about anything except for league games and Champions League. And that was it.
Give yourself a bigger opportunity, especially when you haven't won something for such a long time.
Right.
You'd think you'd go for everything, but it's very strange that. And so that's the good thing. That's what I'll give Mourinho. He's trying to win something. He's going
right.
That's when, yes, the football is just horrible to watch at times. And, I don't know what he's doing most of the time.
It's harder too for supporters because we can't be there. So we're watching. Not only is it's almost disinteresting to watch in a pub or at your house, but then you can't even be there to watch it, because even if it was kind of not great football, it would be more of a thrill, I think, to be in, and actually be able to experience it in real life again. So I think that's where a lot of people are a little annoyed. I know I've seen some posts where people are not really interested in watching very much anymore. Because
that frustration. Yeah.
Right.
You're not as much, you're not connected enough.
Right.
The situation and the games that's going on. So there's kind of cut off that connection of just watching it on TV. It's very different to being there in the stadium. So no, I get that. And that's where a lot of the frustration builds from that, isn't it? A part of not being able to go and watch the team and then you're playing not great. So that's that's even more frustration, isn't it? It's just
absolutely
playing wonderful and I can't even be there to watch them.
Right.
So I get that 100%. I totally understand. What's your kind of hopes for this season going forward?
I would love to see us. I would love to see us in the top 4, finish in the top 4. I mean, the higher the better, obviously. I'd love to see Champions League again. I mean, the Europa competitions haven't been bad, so don't get me wrong. But, I mean, everybody, I think, at a certain level aims to be in that, in the Champions League instead of Europa. So, yeah, I mean, I really, like you said, it's kind of a transition year. And I kind of just am hoping that we just bank it up in the top 4 somewhere and make Champions League again.
Well, you got a chance. You got Europa League that you could win. I think you got an opportunity there. Or finishing 4th. That's going to be tight, though. The leagues is so close.
Oh, yeah. It is it's gonna be super close.
It's going to be touch and go. There's no guarantees. You got Leicester in there, Everton in there.
And I just want to touch on this really quick because I know that everybody asked me how I feel about Bale being back. I didn't want him to come back. Sorry.
No, really?
It's not just like, honestly, they wanted him back the year, like 2019, they wanted him back, right? Everybody wanted him to be like the marquee signing for the new stadium.
Yeah.
And I loved Bale back the first go around. And I just don't think he left on great terms. Like he was pretty clear that like he wanted to be at Real, and that was, you know, and you know, it's great. We do have him back, and I think people are, the only excitement is that like, we're hoping because he has so much, he wins, or he's been a part of a team that wins, and trying to put that back into the locker room. But honestly, I don't feel like he's this amazing signing that everybody thought he was going to come back and be.
Well, he hasn't been, has he? He's hardly played.
No. And he's getting old for football.
Or something. It's like, I don't get it, because the amount of wages that you're spending on this guy, and it's not a cheap deal.
No, because we're paying half of it, and Madrid's paying half for the loan. So, it's nuts.
You know, so it's not quite worked out so far. And you can see Mourinho doesn't quite trust him.
No, he doesn't. When they talked about Marine, when we were going to play Marine, apparently Bale kept trying to like make it clear, like, I want to be there, you know, and everybody was asking Mourinho, like, are you going to let him come with you? And he's like, we'll see. He kept saying, we'll see how he does at this training, and we'll see how, and obviously he made it out there, you know, because Kane didn't go out. But again, like I haven't been super thrilled by it.
Yeah, but that's quite scary though. In a game like that, he still doesn't trust him to start. Imagine that. That tells you he doesn't.
That worries me. It's a little strange to me. So.
He doesn't think much about it, because in a game like that, like, come on, how could he not start?
Right, like
surely you'd play him, but that's how little faith he has in him.
Oh yeah,
he's not fit enough. He's not on point. Let him just stay on the bench. I'll bring him on later. Like, really, Gareth Bale? Come on. So that was
like, if I was Bale, I wouldn't even want to be a part of that. Like, I would be embarrassed that I came from the club like Madrid back to Tottenham. I love Tottenham, don't get me wrong, but everybody, like, Weston's first team that my son, who he ever was like just absolutely crazy over, was Barca. Like, everybody looks at those big Spanish teams over here in America first before they're looking at the EPL, really.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Yeah. And a lot of kids look up to Messi and Cristiano. And, you know, they just don't, I don't think that there's enough. It's getting better, way better. The EPL reach out here is getting way better. I would say that the Spurs have a supporters club in every state.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. But yeah, I think I would say that they probably, it's the Spanish clubs, the big Spanish clubs that are, and even like Juventus is getting really popular over here.
Of course.
So I personally would love to see Dybala over here with Tottenham, but
that was going to happen, wasn't it? They accepted a bid. They accepted a bid for him,
but it was part of something to do with his name and his branding that Tottenham didn't want to deal with.
And he didn't want to come as well. Was the next thing.
Yeah, that too.
He was like, Tottenham? Why am I going to Tottenham for? I'm
playing for Juventus, what?
Yeah, you see what I mean? So so there was a lot of that. Yes, you're right. The payments, because he had a third party who had rights to his brand or something.
Like Nike or somebody.
Yeah, some nonsense.
That had a bunch. I'm sorry. There I am. I'm back. My phone battery is going.
No, that's all right. All I would like to say is thank you very much for your time. Are you on any platforms people can find you on, Desi?
Yeah, actually. So I'm on Instagram under Desilux, DESILOUX. And my profile is public on there. So you don't even, I mean, you can follow me. That'd be great, actually. But I'm trying to, I used to be very football focused.
Yeah.
And I kind of got away from it for a little bit, just with the transition between Mourinho and Pochettino and all that stuff. It was just a little rocky situation. And I got a little uninterested. Not uninterested, but I think my love for the game was a little suffering just at how Tottenham was, just the whole club, not just even the players or the manager, but just the entire situation.
No, I hear you.
But I'm also on Facebook under my whole name, Desiree Saint Hilaire, and it's DESIREE, and Saint Hilaire is ST space HILAIRE, and I'm in loads of Spurs groups. I help admin one, so.
Cool. That's really cool.
And I don't really do Twitter. I have a Twitter. My Twitter handle is the same as my Instagram, but I don't really do Twitter. So
thank you again for your time, and it was a pleasure.
Thank you again. This is the first time that I've had this opportunity that I was able to actually take. I've been asked to do several podcasts. One Australian Tottenham podcast that's really big. And our times just never matched because there's such a time gap. So I really appreciate you having me on here, and it's been really fun. So thank you so much. Perfect. Great. Sounds good.
I'll see you soon and have a nice evening.
All right. You too. Y'all have a great night. Bye.
Bye-bye.